Hi guys, this is Oliver and welcome back to another episode of my Oliver Ekman 2023 Halloween special, and we are getting closer and closer to Halloween, and you know what that means. It's getting spookier and spookier. On the spooky set we have the Halloween tree from last year's Halloween special, as well as the glowing pumpkin. They're back. Anyways, today we are going to review No One Will Save You, a brand new alien invasion horror movie. It's basically like a house invasion horror movie but with aliens instead of slashers. Anyways guys, without further ado, let's review the movie. Let's do this. Well, let's start off with what I loved about the movie. First up, the cinematography in this movie was amazing. Visually, this movie looks amazing. It really does. It's very well directed, well shot. And I also thought that the music in this movie was amazing, and this movie was already really scary, and the music made it even scarier. And I loved the main character of the movie, played by Kaitlyn Dever, who is famous for being in movies like Booksmart and A Ticket to Paradise. She is a great actress. She really is. I loved her in Booksmart, and I loved her yet again in this movie. She was a great character, and I loved her arc throughout the movie, and how in the beginning of the movie you saw her her lifestyle and stuff like that. And I also loved how a choice in this movie that there is no line of dialogue in this movie at all. They say nothing in this movie. I think that's very smart and very clever, how even though she doesn't say anything in this movie, you can tell how she feels for her acting. Her acting was so good that she didn't need any dialogue. I also thought that the first half of this movie was amazing. It really was. It was so good, so damn good. It really was, and it's everything that the trailer promises, but better. And it's very scary, and this is one of those horror movies where the trailer for the movie barely spoiled anything. So obviously this video, it will be a spoiler-free review. The first scene when the alien shows up to her house was such an amazing, incredible scene. It was so scary. It was very scary and very suspenseful. I was so on the edge of my seat, and it's one of the best scenes and one of the scariest scenes I've seen in a horror movie, to be honest, which is saying a lot because I've seen a lot of horror movies. When I was watching this movie throughout the first half of the movie, I was confident that I was going to love this movie. I was confident to put this movie on one of the best horror movies of all time, until we got the second half of the movie, which we will talk about that later on when we move on with things that I did not like about the movie. But I still have some more things that I loved about the movie. Like, for example, the scene that you see in the trailer for the movie when she was chased by that alien spider. That was so scary. It really was. And visually, the alien spider looks so scary. It really does. You see it in the trailer for the movie, so it's not a spoiler. It was such a scary scene. It was an epic and awesome action scene. It really was, and I was so on the edge of my seat during the scene. And wow, the scene, it was so scary. The alien spider was so scary, and I loved it visually. It looks very good CGI. It kind of reminded me a lot of the aliens in A Quiet Place, but way scarier this time around. Let's move on with the things that I did not like about this movie, and there isn't a whole bunch of them, but there are a couple of things that I didn't like about this movie. First of which, I think the second half of this movie was very mixed. I loved the first half of this movie, and it was everything I wanted from this movie and more. It was perfection.
It was perfect, everything.
But I think the second half of the movie, it's not bad by any means. I don't hate the second half of the movie, but I am very mixed on it. I'm not gonna spoil the second half of the movie. I'm just, it was very confusing. It was way more confusing than it should have been. One of the best things about the first half of this movie was that it was a very simple story, just alien invasion, house invasion, but with aliens instead, and just a nice simple story. But here in the second half of the movie, it was very confusing. I was very confused, and it left me with more questions than answers. And I also thought the second half of the movie was less scary. There were some very scary scenes of, for example, like I said before, the scene with the alien spider was very scary and very awesome and very intense. And there were also some other great scenes amazing scenes in the second half of the movie, but I thought that it was less scary than the first half of the movie, because I think that the first half of the movie was the first encounter with the alien. But obviously this movie has not just one alien, it has a bunch of aliens, and there was one choice that I thought was made this movie way less scary, and it bothered me very much. It was that they tried to kill her one at a time. Like, what the fuck? What? Like for real, like they tried to kill her one at a time. There's a whole bunch of aliens, and then they try to kill her one at a time. Like, for real. Like that made this movie less scary. That ruined this movie for me. I think I know what you may have been thinking. I know it's hard to defeat a whole bunch of aliens at the same time. I know that. I get it. But like, or it's not always one at a time. But there are some scenes when they attack her one at a time. Like, what? Wait, what? No, the lights. There you go. Okay, let's continue. No One Will Save You was such an amazing movie. It really was. The story was amazing and the characters were amazing. Or the character, because she's one of the only characters in the movie, but her performance in the movie was amazing. And then the cinematography amazing, the music amazing, the horror amazing, very scary movie. And I was so on the edge of my seat during this movie. And even though I don't love the second half of the movie as much, I still thought it was really good. One of the scariest things about this movie, every time the UFO lights come in, I thought that was really scary. Especially if you compare this movie to another alien-based horror movie, Nope, which by the way, don't forget to check out my movie review for that movie. In that movie, it was that, oh yeah, if you go outside, the UFO can suck you up. But here in this movie, if you even when she's inside, it still can suck you up. And I think that I thought that was really scary, and it made this movie even scarier. And that scene in general, when it almost sucks her up, I thought that was really scary. I am still very mixed on the second half of the movie. I thought it was very confusing, and it left me with more questions than answers, I think. But I'm not gonna spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen the movie yet. But I still, that being said, I really liked the ending of this movie. I thought it was really good. I'm not gonna spoil it, but I thought it was a very interesting ending. It left me with more questions than answers, to be honest, but it was still a very interesting way to end the movie, I think. Such an amazing movie, it really was, and I highly recommend watching this movie. This movie is worth watching, absolutely. Anyways, guys, that's it for my review of No One Will Save You. If you love alien horror movies like me, then I highly recommend checking this movie out. It's streaming on Disney Plus, so I highly recommend watching this movie. Anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh no. The UFO's here.